Jerod, are you sad to be at the last movie minute of Home Alone?
I'm not sad it's over. I'm happy it happened.
I had that same thought today. I was trying to reframe my feelings.
The lesser part of me actually plays a little bit with the denial. Let me explain how. Play along. If this minute, the 99th minute of the film, were the first minute of another movie, what would you expect of those following minutes? And if I can use that also as a way to get you to do possibly your last summary of a minute, what would the opening minute of this new film be?
So in minute 1 of a hypothetical movie and minute 99 of this actual movie, Home Alone, we can kind of wrap it up into just a few beats. Kevin has been approaching this window, and when he gets there, he makes out there's a family out there, and he recognizes that it's old man Marley reconciling with his son and what I hope is his son's wife and Marley's granddaughter. And they're all sharing a big hug. Kevin's watching it, enjoying the scene. Old man Marley holding his granddaughter, spots Kevin, gives him a wave. Kevin waves back, tender moment, music swelling, and then we hear from off screen Buzz yelling, "Kevin, what did you do to my room?" And Kevin runs away from the window, and we fade to black. Movie over.
Do I even have to say it?
I need it.
I would like to be the first to say it. Great summary.
Thank you.
I'm certain I won't be the last to say it, and that warms my heart.
No one else rings in to tell me great summary, by the way.
I don't think you'll have to wait for it to appear on your epitaph, but I don't think it's necessary to be real time. I think these are things that will reach you maybe right when you need them.
Years from now, someone will spot me at the grocery store and go, "Hey, great summaries."
And you'll go, "Great winteries."
Hey, before we get into breaking down this minute with our astute analyses and observations, I wanted to show you something because I got 2 and one's coming your way. Our buddy Nick, shout out Nick, hit me up on the Instagram and said, "Have you ever seen these?" And I said, "No. Where'd you see those?" And he goes, "Facebook Marketplace." But they've got them on eBay too. And he very graciously offered to purchase and then send them our way. But by the time he had offered that, I had already purchased them off of eBay. I guess I'll have to put it on the Instagram or something. But Jerod, look, I've got Home Alone 2, Lost in New York lunch bags, like printed on Home Alone 2 branded, like paper lunch bags with like hand-drawn pictures. Like there's like the logo and then like little cartoons of the wet bandits or sticky bandits, I should say, like chasing Kevin. Down here, there's a place where you can write your name for your lunch below the Home Alone 2 logo. And then you've got some cartoon, they don't even really look like any of the characters in the movie except a little bit, but they're sort of like highlights magazine level like cartoon depictions of them. It's hard to make out on the screen, but they're very strange, just little cartoon vignettes from Home Alone 2.
This is such a validation of the responsiveness of the marketplace in knowing when I am most often thinking about Home Alone 2 specifically, which is lunchtime. But man, thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Nick.
Because he seems to love the movie just as much as we do.
Thank you, Nick. That's awesome.
I am now only charged with the challenge of how to properly frame a paper lunch bag printed on both sides.
There is also the unpleasant conversation I think we will both have with children who would want to use it for its intended purpose.
Brother, my child wants to get at some things that I don't want out of the box yet. I think every day...
The struggle is real.
We've been on spring break this week. Every day this week, she's walked into the room, spotted the Home Alone house Lego set that is still unopened and says, "We're putting this together." And I say, "At Christmas time." She goes, "Oh, is it Christmas yet?" And I have to explain to her that it's not Christmas yet. Today, we went to the West Cobb Avenue, where the last
Home of walk-ons.
The last time we were there, I believe, or I don't know, it dawned on her that that's where the Spirit Halloween is. So she kept saying she wanted to go to the scary store. And we also did like a trick-or-treating event there. So we thought that she just kind of recognized the area as like where she did her trick-or-treating. But she wanted to go to the scary store. And we had a really hard time explaining to her Spirit Halloween's seasonal business plan.
See, some stores, young one, are more ephemeral.
So she's always
like
trying to...
the spirit of Halloween.
She's always trying to get at the Home Alone Lego set. And I thought I could placate her for a little while because I had an unopened Toy Story Lego set down in the garage.
Ooh.
And I was like, you know what? That sounds great. Here's what I did not recognize. That Toy Story Lego set, years and years old. Obviously, this is from the Toy Story 2 era, and it's that old. It was opened, but it seemed untouched. Like all of the pieces were still in their plastic bags and stuff. I was like, oh, this is actually like, I looked it up, and on eBay it goes for like almost $200. And I was about to list it, but I was like, let's put it together with my kid. Sounds fun. What I slowly realized is that whenever this came out, my dad bought it for my little brother just so we could have the Woody, Jesse, and Bullseye minifigs and just put the rest away. That's my dad. This is like a probably $50, $75 Lego set. And my dad bought it for my little brother just so we could have those 3 minifigs. He left Stinky Pete in the box.
Which is true to film.
Yes. The other thing that she keeps wanting to get at is I have a Troy McClure action figure given to me by our mutual bestie, Joe. And that's the one that I just can't bring myself to let her have at it without a care. Like, who cares? It's stuff. I love my kid more than the stuff. But like my Troy McClure action figure, I want to keep that MIB.
I don't blame you in the least, especially because it's not about its eBay value.
Not at all.
As demonstrated by your Toy Story venture.
Part of it is me having feelings about it because Joe gave it to me.
Right. So it's both, right? It's those things, and they are more than the sum of their parts. It is something that has monetary value and is worth something according to the marketplace. And to you, it has sentimental value. And those two things create this sort of flywheel effect that means it's more than both of those things combined, right?
Joe could have just sent me a check at Christmas, but he didn't.
I have had a recent experience with something that I let get destroyed because it didn't have as much sentimental value.
Yeah.
I had a backup Voltron diecast set.
Ooh.
So this isn't one that has like sentimental ties to my uncle, that like those are out of reach, that kind of stuff. This is the like backup set of I'm going to acquire this for probably more than I should pay for it at some age. And now I think, oh, it's worth 15 to 17 times that now, which is more crazy. But I let my young child play with it and got reprimanded by an adult male in public for doing so.
I think you've told me this before. Hey, that thing's worth a lot of money. Put that toy down, child. Put it down. What are you doing? He's like crying. He comes to you like red in the face. He's trying to like yank it out of your son's hands. Don't you understand? Why is it out of the box?
Like 1,000 voices crying out at once and then suddenly silenced.
Talk about that, like, pop punk whiny boy energy of like, he doesn't love you the way I will. That kid doesn't deserve you. I know how to treat a Voltron. If it were up to me, you'd be behind glass. I'd get you professionally clean twice a year.
Now that explains why that guy went, pick it up, pick it up.
It explains the Goldfinger shirt for sure.
I was like, he didn't even drop it.
While I'm on the subject of like cool Home Alone stuff, tell me to cut this out if I have already shown you this, but I don't think I've showed you this, and I've had it for like 4 months. Are you ready? Have I shown you these?
No.
I have.
These two are difficult to see in the dark.
Yeah,
is it cups of some sort? Tumblers, maybe?
I bought my MacBook Pro pre-COVID when they didn't bother to make the webcam very good in the dark.
Which variant?
I don't know. The one I could afford.
Oh, no, I meant COVID.
Oh. But it is for the listeners, it's a red, sort of like a smaller, like soda pitcher that you might see at like a classic Pizza Hut or something. But it's got the little Nero's logo stamped on it. And then I have a red plastic cup with the same thing printed on it here. And these were gifted to, I'm going to say us, because I keep meaning to give you whichever one of these you wanted. These were gifted to us by our dear friend Christina Crane, who famously to us designed the cover for our record. And more than that, is a true friend to the end. But she went to the Home Alone pop-up thing in Los Angeles. They were not selling these or even giving them away to anybody. They were just like there for display only or whatever. But she was talking to some lady who was seemingly in charge of the event and told her about us. And they were like, oh, that's so cool. And she gave Christina these things. And Christina flew them across the country to give them to us because she's the best.
She is. And honestly, I would have agreed with that even prior to her muling
Yes.
Home Alone's merch. Or Home Alone's contraband, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think
Home Alone's paraphernalia.
I don't think there was anything illicit about the way it was acquired. The impression I got from her telling me the story of it is that these weren't things they were just passing out to everybody who showed up. She got them because the people running it knew they were talking to a true fan.
She's so nice.
If we texted her like, hey, we talked about you for a long time on the podcast, it's at minute whatever of this, the reply back would be, ah, you nerds. She would say, ah, you nerds. Let's see here. Like we alluded to last minute, but I don't think we even necessarily said, Chris Columbus does say that in earlier drafts of the script before the old man Marley character got fleshed out to make the movie what it is, the movie does end with the just hung around cornball line that we talked about last minute. And that was for a long time the end of the movie. So essentially this whole last minute didn't exist for a while. But it does now, and I think it's a good one. It's a good ending.
It's a better ending.
Miles better than Just Hung Around.
Well, as we probably said, Just Hung Around is the Disney ending, which I like in certain contexts. Not here.
No, we get something so much more special here. I'm afraid to sound corny, but this last minute with Marley and his family reconciling reminds us of what this whole movie was actually about.
Right. It's about Old Man Marley's son, granddaughter, and some lady.
I'm assuming daughter-in-law. Maybe that's what the argument was about.
What are the things that they said that they regret?
Exactly. Maybe his son is a real piece of work and this is like the second wife. Maybe Old Man Marley is too humble to reveal to us that he's the righteous side of this argument.
We take him at his word that they're even.
Yeah, a fight of a level playing field. But maybe this lady is like the secretary that he left the mother of his child for. And this reunion still has that pang of grossness to it for Marley.
Well, because it's about his granddaughter, too. He's saying, you are breaking up the home and family of my granddaughter. I do have a say in this.
Mm-hmm.
And the son goes, oh, well, now you're never going to see that granddaughter again.
Mm-hmm.
And that adds a bit of weight to going back and seeing that minute where he's just in the church watching her.
Ooh, heavy stuff.
Why do internet weirdos care so much about plot holes when there's all of this?
Rich backstory that you can assume upon the characters.
There are plenty of loose ends that you can tie up that aren't plot holes. They're just things to be finished.
There's speculation to be had.
Why waste your time tearing down a masterpiece?
When you could take your own clumps of creativity and wet it down and smack it onto the side of this beautiful film. This perfect 99 minutes of American culture. You just go, yeah, and he had a drug problem too. That's why they fought.
I'm so excited.
He was hooked on caffeine pills. But yeah, this hugging of the granddaughter is great. What I like about it, I like two things about it. I'm going to tell you two things. I'm going to start with number one. It's snowing really.
Is snowing the guts of number one?
Yeah. You want me to go 2-1?
Okay. I was going to, but
you know what?
Yeah.
I think this is a 2-1 situation.
Okay.
Back up. Number two, it's snowing really hard.
I'm okay. Okay. Yes.
Is it? No, is it not?
Oh no, I was just so overwhelmed with joy that the snowing piece is part of 2 and 1. This is great. Yes, it is snowing quite hard.
It's snowing quite hard, but they're having this reunion outside in the snow anyway. Their need for this moment supersedes the weather. No one's going in for a hug and going, let's get inside. Ugh, it's getting soaked out here. They're having that hug out on the street.
I don't know if my thoughts on this will ruin item 1.
Okay, they won't. There's no way you can ruin item 1.
This is something I thought a lot about from, I guess, a different angle, which is if you look at Mr. Blossom.
RB.
If you look at the meats, you can interpret what he looks like in 2 ways or potentially both ways because he looks strained, especially like when he sets his granddaughter down. And you see like a physical strain of, is he freezing? Like, is it so cold that he's just flush and just really, really cold? Or are those tears and like red face from being overwhelmed with joy? Or is it both? Because like you say, this is such a powerful moment that they're not going, oh, well, let's have this little reunion inside where it's nice and toasty. No, we've got to do this right here, right now, because Kevin's window is right there.
It is very convenient for us. I don't like you diminishing the performance of Robert's Blossom like this. Of course he's overcome with emotion and love for his family. That's what that face is all about. This is Christmas snow. This is snow of joy. This snow is...
falls at crisp 80 degrees.
It's not warm, but it's a loving snow. This is the snow of Christmas. This is the snow of togetherness.
I think in the voiceover of Frosty the Snowman, they talk about the first Christmas snow, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's what we're getting here. But that expression...
That's what this is the first minute of.
That expression on both Robert's faces is one of love, of relief, of getting his family back. This hug has been a long time coming. And he just carried Kevin across the Murphy home. So we know he's strong enough. He might be feeling a little sore from that this morning, but...
Do you think he's also a bit sore from carrying the movie?
Carrying the heart of the movie, maybe. My number one point of this moment is the wave to Kevin is tender and beautiful and a good connection between these two characters. But it also shows us that Marley's been able to see into this house the whole time. He's been keeping an eye on Kevin while he's home alone, to quote a song. And to spot him in the window, to me, it's this tender moment, but it's also the suggestion of, yeah, I had your back the whole time, bro.
I believe there are angels among us.
How would you describe the cleanliness of their souls?
They're about as filthy as Buzz's room.
Ooh. Couple moments here from the DVD commentary. One, this sort of final shot of Kevin waving at Marley here. Chris Columbus calls it his favorite shot of the film. And he also says
Does he feel like he has to say that, though?
I heard no obligation in his voice when he said it, so I believe him.
You don't think he was just high off of the completion of a job well done? He's like, oh, commentary's over. Nice. Let's go get lunch. I love this scene.
I didn't hear him say that over and over again, which would make me doubt his sincerity. But he also says that this final line of Buzz's, the studios were very happy with. And he didn't put a dollar amount on it, but he said the studio said that final line increased the box office revenue by however much money. There was an extra $1 million at the box office just because that one line brings the whole movie home as a good comedy, good time, that it just did so much for them. And originally they did not have it because it just ended with, just hung around.
If you were to put a price on the two lines, let's say it's another $1 million. So $1 million line compared to just hung around. How much is just hung around price wise? If you were to value it, let's say it's mint in box.
Yeah, the 4-year-old hasn't put her grubby little hands on it. Like my
many figs are not missing.
Like my out of the box Funko Pop, my Kevin McAllister OOB Funko Pop. This one she took out of the box, and I was like, you know what? Fine, no problem.
That's where he wants to be anyway.
Yeah. He belongs outside of the box. I would say that that's a weaker line, but still fun. I can appreciate it. I'm sure audiences did too. But yeah, that's a $300,000 last line. If Kevin, what did you do to my room was a cool mill.
So hung around has a pool, but it's above ground.
I don't think they're losing money on just hung around.
So still a net gain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As opposed to, what did you get up to while we were gone? And then he just looks at the camera and goes,
yeah. If he does it a third time,
for the listeners,
you clapped your...
I did the thing you thought I did.
You clapped your hands to your open mouth, aftershave style. Another thing that we don't get from the end of the movie is the scene of Harry and Marv in jail, which was written in the script. And it seems like something like a post-credit scene or something like that.
I was about to say, that feels very now.
Yeah. And Chris Columbus in the commentary says that at the end of the movie, this is where nowadays you would get the bloopers from the movie.
Oh, right. It's next to the credits rolling for the first main song.
Yeah, which we don't do bloopers really anymore. I kind of miss bloopers in some ways. Bring back some bloopers, y'all.
Is there an apolitical equivalent to make bloopers great again?
Put bloopers back in movies.
Bring back bloopers?
Yeah, I like that. Put it on a blue hat.
Or purple.
Sure.
Is that too regal a color?
Well, I was going for the extra alliteration of a bloopers and blue.
Beige?
Yeah, the beige. Beige hat. So everyone thinks that it's your, if you're, of a certain ethnicity, I guess, everyone thinks that you just have this flesh colored bill sticking out from your bald head.
They're like, it's not a cone head, but what is it?
In around high school or so, maybe right out of high school, I found this pair of Ren and Stimpy swim shorts that are really I thought I struck gold because Ren and Stimpy were not a popular thing anymore. They kind of seen the nadir of their cultural relevance. but I found these Ren and Stimpy swim shorts. So I bought them immediately. And it was only after I went swimming with them a few times that I realized that they're the same color as my legs, like the shorts were. So outside of a few like designs of like, drawings of Ren and Stimpy on my shorts, it just looked like I was swimming around naked.
With Ren and Stimpy crawling on
with like Ren and Stimpy like tattoos all over me. Bad look. But the Wet Bandits are in jail in this sort of post-credits scene, or just this little tag they put on the end of the movie.
Parallel to credits scene, we'll say.
Sure. And they're sitting there in the jail. A movie's playing, and it's Angels with Filthy Souls. And they hear the same lines that Kevin played for them to trick them. And they just have a knowing, frustrated look at each other.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Is it $1 million funny?
Apparently not.
How long do you think you could sustain a grin and have it look even remotely natural?
That's a good question. Like if you just tell me like to force a smile and keep it on.
Imagine you're at a window pretending to see something happening in your neighbor's house.
It's a long time to smile.
I've decided budget-wise, I'm not actually going to have them there, but I want you to pretend they're there.
Yeah, and Chris Columbus does praise Mac in this moment for his delivery. I think he said that he was, off camera directing him in this moment of smiling and waving and just telling him to think happy thoughts, that kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. It's an endurance thing to smile that authentically for that long. I definitely couldn't make it that long.
As a viewer, it doesn't feel that long, but I'm certain I couldn't do a second and a half.
What struck me rewatching it really closely was that the timing of when we hear the Kevin, that's when Kevin's face changes immediately when Buzz just yells out his name. And then he says, "What did you do to my room?" And it hits him that but as soon as he hears Buzz yelling for Kevin, from the tone of it, he knows he's in some trouble.
I think even absent tone, that would be there, because if you think about the house again as a character, in this minute, Kevin is spending a lot of time outside of the house and is still in the version of the house that did not have his family in it. He's almost being pulled out just to the edge of it. Mm-hmm. Buzz yelling Kevin snaps him back into the house and the space.
Yeah.
He doesn't need tone, words, anything really to come back to the reality and what the house represents.
It's a hero's journey thing.
Yes.
Kevin, what have you done in my room? That brings him back to where we were at the beginning of the movie. But he's changed now. But he's still got a brother who's going to pick on him and yell at him and be mad that he's destroyed his room.
Which in itself is a very interesting part of the journey. Maybe more tedious and harder to make entertaining, but the reconciliation of becoming the hero and still having to live within the confines.
Yeah, you're changed, but now your family's back. And maybe your mom's a little different, but none of these other bozos have grown in any meaningful way throughout this. Yeah, maybe that is a $1 million line then, not just for the joke, but for the completion it implies.
Can we say completion?
Ooh, we can't keep it a clean podcast if we do.
You can bleep that, right?
Sure. This minute fades to black, but our music isn't quite over. I believe the music's still sort of in that swelling. It hasn't transitioned into the "We wish you a Merry Christmas" yet, not to get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
But this is fade to black, end of the story. Jerod, are we going to bother with the few minutes of credits for this podcast?
I know this is a democratic podcast that often struggles with the fact that there are two of us. So my vote would be that we honor those who made what we have appreciated thus far.
Like the last week of school where the grades are already finalized and you're just doing word searches and stuff. That's sort of the vibe we're going into, I believe. We'll be here. Yeah, the movie's over, but we still got 6 more weeks of school left, buddy.
So our expectations for you, the listener, are there will not be a quiz.
It's all ungraded, yeah. But we'll be here.
But there will be gift cards.
Oh man, can I air some frustration? In grad school, it's all online, and one of my classes, the professor seems very intelligent and sharp, knows her stuff, has really insightful commentary, feedback on like all my assignments and everything. But for convenience sake, it seems like she has kind of taken the shell of an online course from another teacher from another time and just sort of copy pasted it into our learning platform. And maybe I missed it along the way somewhere, but nowhere like a syllabus or an introduction did I see like a, hey, here's all these modules. I do things a little bit different. Hey, just pay attention to these assignments. If you see something that's not these assignments, feel free to ignore it. And there have been 2, 3, 4 situations where I spent a lot of time on something. And then when I went to go turn it in, like there's no place to turn it in because I did not have to do it. But it's like in like the steps of the course, like, hey, here's the first module, the second module, the third module. And I'm just going through that stuff. But apparently I was supposed to like not go by that and go by her list of required things. I missed that memo somewhere along the line.
I think we often wonder why bad things happen to good people. And I think the reason can sometimes be for you to have the opportunity to break the cycle as you pay it forward to our listeners by saying, look, I have had the misfortune of this off balance, inconsistent grading experience. And I would like to free you of those chains. And what a gift you are giving. And in return, I think the gift of that giving is quite a bit.
So you're saying I should call my son, which, by the way, they had no plans on Christmas Day.
This is why he was in the right. Like he was going to take his secretary to Miami. Or something. He's like, we're just going to drive down, I think. I don't know, whatever.
Whatever code he uses for doing lots of coke was going to be his Christmas plans.
Yeah, because he would have called him at the earliest 9:30 Christmas Eve.
Right. And then like son hangs up, turns to his second wife, who let's say is 13 years younger than him. Doesn't appear that way like on screen, but that's the narrative I'm going with now.
Well, it doesn't appear that way because of her great taste, because what a coat, am I right?
Oh, great coat.
But her taste is beyond her years.
She's wearing the old wife's clothes because she just split town. No. I love this theory that the son is a total dirtbag and old man Marley is bringing to the conflict a level of humility that is completely unwarranted.
Yeah, we don't deserve him.
He is the Christ figure, perfect. He got angry at some really, really nasty stuff that his son was doing. I love that. And I love that they're reconciling in spite of his son being a real piece of work. That's what Christmas is all about.
He's so humble, he took advice from an 8-year-old.
Right.
To reconcile with his dirtbag son.
Right. Who he was correct.
And here's the beauty of the 8-year-old. Because every other adult in his life said, yeah, never talk to your son again.
Everybody at church, the other members of the family were like, no, he's dead to us, believe me. Feel sorry for the granddaughter, but no, never talking to him again.
So he shows up at church, and of course, the like choral minister there is like, oh yeah, this is good. We'll give you as many opportunities to see her as possible because her father sucks. We are happy to support you here. But then out of the mouths of babes is like, call your son.
Call your son. And then he does.
Because again, we're getting it through Kevin's lens, which is maybe he left out the part where a Marley would have said, well, it's a bit more complicated than that, but okay.
Right. Marley's son is a Buzz.
A Bulls fan?
Yeah. And an Isaiah Thomas fan.
And has a typewriter in his room?
That's true. Now we're reminiscing.
Who doesn't love a clip show?
Jerod, this has been so much fun to talk about Home Alone with you on a more or less weekly basis.
On average, weekly.
Yeah, well, on average, we're probably on like a
8 days.
9.4 days or something. We never went quicker than that, I don't think.
No.
But sometimes we went like maybe 2 weeks or maybe even 3 sometimes. But I think it's been about 2-ish years of talking about Home Alone with you very late at night while our family members are asleep. It's been great. And I'll see you for some credits next week. I wish you a Merry Christmas.
What a funny guy.